Hello, my name is Olga, and today I would like to demonstrate you the hoops I'm using at my work when I cross stitch, and I would like to tell a couple words about the positives and negatives parts of each type of hoops I'm using. In this video I'm not gonna cover any Q-snaps or any frames or any stands because I don't normally use them. So this video will be devoted to the embroidery hoops alone. As you can see in this video, I have several types of them. They all are a bit different in a way they're holding the fabric. And I have normally a larger diameter and a smaller diameter, so I will be showing this on the video on the smaller diameter hoops, but in principle the larger and smaller ones will be exactly the same. So let's begin. Starting from the ones I use the less, and I will tell you why, and then I will go towards the ones I'm using most often. I'll move them away for now. Since I only have a small piece of the fabric to show, to demonstrate, then I will be using the small hoops. Also, I will be using my measuring tape to measure the size of the hoops I'm showing. Or in some cases the size of the hoop will be marked on the hoop themselves. So here is the first type. I cannot call them any proper name or any proper principle, so I will just demonstrate how they work. These ones are the simplest one I can find in the local craft store if I will go out and look for the options available on market for me in the country where I live. Unfortunately, embroidery and cross stitch is not the most popular craft or hobby you might think of here, so they pretty much sell only this type. Those are the very simple ones. The screw system is the same like everywhere else, and as you can see, if you will see them on the side, there is a little gap here, so they're pretty much holding like you would expect hoop to work. There is nothing particularly interesting in that. So here, how you would normally put it, you put the bottom part down and you use the front part to tighten it, and then you just use the screw to tighten it up. So, as you can see, it is very basic flat hoop. Here's how it looks from the back side. Unfortunately, this hoop is not holding the fabric the best. Also, this connection type can get a bit loose with time, so when you embroider or cross stitch, you have to tighten the screw quite often. So I'm not the biggest fan of those ones, but of course for each one its own, and I know that many people use specifically this type of hoop because that's just the only type available for them. So this is the one I'm showing is 8, sorry, let me check. It was marked with the diameter here. So this one is 6 inches or 15 centimeters in diameter. And I have the same one which is 8 inches or 20 centimeters in diameter. As I told earlier, I'm not the biggest fan of those type of hoops, and I'm keeping them just in case, and those were the first ones I got when I started embroidering and cross stitching, so I just keep them in case I will use them on some smaller project or just in case. So I will move them away. And I will go to the next hoop option I have in my collection. Those are the very simple plastic ones, rubber and plastic ones to be specific. Those ones I got on AliExpress, and I will put the links for them below as well. How they work, as you can see, there is no screw mechanism here. This one doesn't work to tighten the hoop. So in essence it is just a plastic inner circle, and the outer one is rubber. So to put, here's how it looks from the outside, the inner one. You see there is a gap here, so that's where the rubber one goes when you put two pieces together. It might be a bit tricky to put them together because the hoop is quite tight, which is good for embroidery process. But unfortunately, if you move your process quite often, it might be a bit painful process to put it all again. Well, I'm not even sure I'm gonna demonstrate the finished one at the moment because it's pretty tight. Okay, I made it. So here how it looks from with the fabric. As you can see, the fabric looks much tighter than on the previous one, and here is how it looks from the outside. So myself and many other people are using this type of hoop to put the finished product in, because you can use this little ring to put it on the wall, which looks very nice, and also it imitates the wood here, this rubber part. So it looks very good for finished products. But of course, if you're out of hoop options at the moment, you can use them as well for your work, especially if you just use them on something smaller. So you just put the hoop on the project, you finish the project completely, and you've just finished the back part, and you will give it as a present or you will put it on the wall directly. So I have the one I'm holding at the moment. It is approximately 5 inches, 5.5 inches in diameter, or 14 centimeters. I mean the outer part, and the one I'm also having here is 7 inches or 18 centimeters. But of course you can find them in other sizes as well, and also I know their oval shape also exists, so I'll put the links for them down below. I found those two on AliExpress. Okay, let's move on. I'll put this away as this type. Okay, the next one I'm gonna be demonstrating is this bright orange. Color doesn't matter, to be honest, but it may look like exactly this, like the first one I showed earlier, but there is a bit difference in the way how the hoops, inner and outer, are connected between each other. So as if you remember, these ones were pretty flat. There was nothing really special about it. And this one is a bit different, because if you will see, this part has this middle part running all across the hoop, and the outer hoop has this gap. So when you put both hoops together, they just connect very tightly between each other, and it is very nice. It keeps the tension of the fabric much stronger than on the first ones I showed earlier. Also, you don't have to tighten the screw as often as on the first type. So I really like these ones. They're perfect for everyday projects, and you can adjust them as much as you want, and also they keep the fabric much stronger. Okay, than the previous ones. It's even a bit harder to put them in. So as you can see, the tension is also a bit better than the first ones. Here is how it looks from the outside, from the inside. But the overall quality is very nice. I like how they hold the fabric. I'm using them for most of my projects as well. I also found them on AliExpress. They have multiple size options. Those ones I'm using at the moment. Let me see. This one is 6 inches and 15 centimeters. And I also have this green one, which is 8 inches or 20 centimeters. So this is my top second. So I started with the ones I use less. This is number 4, number 3, number 2, and here it comes to the gold medalist of my hoop collection. Those are the hoops made by Turkish company called Nurge. And as you can see, they look quite different from the ones I showed before. They don't have any screw to tighten up. So this is how it looks like. The principle is a bit different here. Instead of the screw you have to tighten up, it uses this inner circle, which you don't see at the moment because it is hidden inside of outer one. Works like a spring. So you have to use a bit of manual power here to clasp this. So when you put it together, it becomes a bit smaller and you can take it out. And here how it looks when you release the hold. As you can see, this, if you would try to put it right now, it will not really work because you have to tighten it again. You have to hold it very strong and put it inside, and here how it looks. I'll show you it on the Aida fabric as well. And this case, in this type, I will put the outer ring underneath. Then I will check where it goes. And I squeeze it again. I put it all inside. I squeeze it inside. And now, as you can see, it gives a very perfect tight fabric, very well stretched. There is no gap where the screw is normally located, like you would see on this part. So it is all universally flattened and universally tightened. It works like magic, and I really like this type of hoop. I found those ones on Amazon. I can show the link in the video below as well. So this one is my most favorite type of embroidery hoop. So if you want to buy them, I would recommend to only buy the ones made by Nurge company. I've tried similar type of embroidery hoop made by other companies, and in one case this inner ring was too loose to hold the fabric, so it was just falling out constantly, and in another case this part was very tight and I was not able to tie it together, or when I finally was able to put it together, this part just got broke, so it didn't really work well for me. So this is a Nurge type of embroidery hoop which I prefer the most to all the others. This one I'm using at the moment is 5.5 inch or 14 centimeters. I also have the large type as well, which I'm using for my Van Gogh project at the moment, so I don't want to take it out. I will just demonstrate how it looks. This one is 8.5 inches to 21-22 centimeters. So that's it for now. I hope you will enjoy this video, and I hope you will find some embroidery rings you may use for your project as well. Thank you and goodbye.